Hello friends and welcome. I'm Sarah Liz. I'm so excited to be joining you for the Trinity Stamps March release hop. There are tons of adorable new products. This is one of my favorites. It's the soup can shaped card die set. It will make like a classic soup can or a pill bottle. There's also a stamp set called Super that coordinates beautifully with both of them. So I'm going to begin by assembling my pill bottle, and I actually am going to start with this little gray piece. It creates a shadow underneath the cap of the bottle, and I'm marking on my grid evenly where I want both of these to end up. It's going to hang off the side just a little bit. I tell you what, I've actually made a couple of these now, and a few of them have a slightly crooked top, which is very plausible in my life. Let's just be real honest. But I wanted this one to be straight. So I started with that, and then the other pieces will just fit right down in there. I really love wet glue for this because I can wiggle them into place. They fit like puzzle pieces, and I absolutely love it. So this is part of the release hop, and there's a gift card giveaway. So in the description box below, I will leave a link just at the very top to the hop playlist. You don't have to click on individual people. You can just go to the playlist and you will see everybody's videos all in one place. I adore the Trinity team. It has a lot of my very favorite designers on it. So definitely check it out. And then the instructions for how to enter the gift card giveaway are also there. And hopefully you can get some free goodies from Trinity. So I am creating a little extension on the top of that pill bottle. If you were going to glue this straight to your card, there's no need, but I wanted to pop it up on some foam tape and I didn't want to stick it straight to foam. So I just added like that little strip, and then I'll clip the edges because you could sort of see it hanging down below the darker teal piece. And then with wet glue, I can just wiggle that back behind there. Again, fits like a puzzle piece. Those are actually cut by the same die, those two teal pieces. And I love that because then you know that they fit perfectly. I decided in the end to layer up those two top pieces to create some actual shadow, if you will, little dimension and layering. I am so used to making interactive cards that take a little bit longer that it was a ton of fun to make just a regular card and spend my time on these really lovely details. So this is Emergency Card Essentials die set number 1. I designed this for Trinity Stamps back in the fall. But what I don't do as often as I use the rest of it is use the faces. We had some extra space when we were sort of putting the die design together. And I told Tanisa, I was like, I just want faces because I want to put them on everything. I've put them on donuts. I've put them on cheese and cheese graters. Any die set that I have that doesn't already have a face, I've probably tried it. So I'm going to show you how I add a few of the faces, but really it's the same thing. I like to use my tweezers to place the mouth so that I can sort of audition it and figure out exactly where I want it. I tap the glue off on the back of my hand to make sure that it's not going to ooze out. That white cardstock is like a shimmer white cardstock, and I don't want it to be less shiny. But wherever possible, I put the glue on the larger die cut, so I'll put it straight on the pill, and then I can just use my little pickup stick and the wax end of that to place it. This face is probably my favorite, and it has these tiny little cutouts for the middle of the eyes. If you didn't want to keep track of those little black dots, and some days I don't, you certainly could just put a little piece of black cardstock behind there or use a marker straight onto the blue cardstock and then layer it right on top, and no one will ever know. I am going to layer these into my little pill bottle, sort of leaning against each other like one little happy pill family of weirdos. Or maybe I'm just describing my family. To me, I think a lot of times when I'm not feeling the best, a really good laugh is one of the best gifts anybody can give me. That and someone else cooking dinner. So I thought this was really adorable. I hope it would bring a smile to anybody's face. So the first 4 kind of know how they're supposed to be situated and what they're supposed to be doing. But this last one, I was like, he's going to be upside down. That's going to be my oldest son making some weird joke. He has the best sense of humor. So this is the Healing Wishes stamp set. It has amazing sentiments and 2 different fonts. And so I'm going to use the Feel Better Soon, and we're going to heat emboss it. I'm adding some anti-static powder, and I don't know why, but sometimes mine likes to go crazy and you end up with a ton of powder. I am not worried about it. I'm using a clear sticky ink to just stamp my Feel Better Soon, and I'll add some white embossing powder and heat that up. off camera, I will use a dry cloth to wipe away as much of that anti-static powder as I can. But then whatever is left, I have some soft white erasers that I just got during back to school sales for my kids that work beautifully to remove the rest of that powder. So I'm going to add that onto my pill bottle. It says feel better soon. And then I had actually already put this down onto that gray cardstock and I was like, that's too boring. I don't like that. So I peeled it off of that card base or card panel, and I'm going to use the Abstract Scratch background stamp. This is one of my all-time favorites, not just from Trinity, like from anybody. It goes with everything. It can read masculine, it can read feminine, and it's just great. So I started with a light gray ink. I stamped it a couple of times and it just wasn't showing up. Maybe I need to re-ink my ink pads, but in the end, I just grabbed a darker ink. I was like, we're not going to keep doing this. So a medium gray ink, and then that's a fog cardstock. I was having a hard time deciding between that same shimmer white cardstock that I used for the pills, but this I thought was a lovely, just not white background, but still brought the focus to the pill bottle. You can put the pill bottle onto the shaped card can, and it looks beautiful on that as well. I'm going to use the Indispensable Stamp Set, also great sentiments, and it just says doctor's orders, and I put it in that bottom left corner. I love putting it somewhere slightly unusual instead of just like centered at the top. I also like being a little bit bossy. So there's that. They'll know that it's from me. I've added some thin foam tape all over the back, but as I mentioned, I already peeled this off of one card panel. So I went and added some wet glue all over the back just to give me a little bit of wiggle time. And I'm going to stand up and I'm going to look at it. Anytime my hands go off screen, you got to know I stood there and looked at it for like 3 minutes and then I moved it again. But in the end, I think it turns out just great. So once I'm happy with it, my friends, we can add that onto our card base where we did our stamping. And I just like to use wet glue for pretty much everything. For something like this, I make sure that my panel is all the way up at the fold, because if I have to trim something off, you can't trim the fold, right? But that will finish up our card, my friends. I hope this inspires you. I hope you'll check out the rest of the hop linked right at the very top of that description box below. Thank you all so much for spending your time with me, and I will see you next time.